They were very, very sharp. And when I say they, I'm talking about Bill DeWitt Sr. He was the man, the general manager, guiding this whole situation. He was the general manager of the year, the executive of the year is what they called it in those days. So it was really a bunch of gritty guys, played well, but it was so well orchestrated, and I give all that credit to Bill DeWitt Sr. With the war going on, headed into 1944, Major League Baseball did some soul searching. You don't want a scene where baseball players and young bathing beauties are on the beach in Florida or in California. You know, at the same time, their sons are either in the Japanese or German theater. They set a line, basically the Mason-Dixon line. Nobody could be south of that line or west of the Mississippi except for the Cardinals and the Browns. But they were all really in snowy, wintry areas in February playing the ball. It became known as the Long Underwear League. The Cardinals went over to Cairo, Illinois, and the Browns went down to Cape Girardeau, and they found, I guess you would say, a hidden gem, where they found a big old farm convention horse show building that had all dirt surface in there for the shows, and that became their home. And they were like the only team that was working extensively indoors during this harsh climate. They were kind of a rough and tumble crew. They weren't quite like the Gas House Gang, but it was a collection of scrappers. Like the first 70 days, there was a period they were in first place. But then slowly, the Detroit Tigers and the Yankees started to play well and catch them.
And the Browns walk into this series the hard way. They fought the toughest kind of a fight to get here, and they're raring to go.
The American League put out this is how it would work if there was a three-way tie. What it came down to was the last day of the season. The Washington Senators beat the Tigers. And that meant if the Browns win, they're the champions. If not, there's a tie. Chet Labes came in, hit 2 home runs that day. Probably one of the most pinnacle points in baseball history in St. Louis. The Browns win, and how they did it.